This podcast is part of the Blueberry Network, where listeners and podcasters come together. Find out more at blueberrywithnoease.com.
The Eat Sleep Right podcast is brought to you by generous grant from the Built on Dreams Media Network, with additional funding by the Sims Media Foundation, and from the generosity of listeners like you.
Stand by, please. Rolling on 6. On set.
Welcome to another edition of Voices of the Writers, a reading of stories, poetry, or vignettes on Eat Sleep Right. Put on your headphones and escape the world for a few minutes. Get closer to the poetry, vignettes, and stories on the go, during a break at work, or while you're exercising or jogging. The Eat Sleep Right podcast is also brought to you by the generous cooperation of the Writers World Facebook group. Join Writers World on Facebook, a solicitation-free group for writers of fiction, nonfiction, and poetry, a writing group that concentrates on critiques of posted material. Cutting Reality by Nikki Ann Schmutz, read by Adam Scull. Flashing lights drew them out of bed, like a beacon to a tabloid drama. The neighborhood swarmed about her house, parking their bare or slipper-clad feet on squares of sidewalk or patches of lawn. The ambulance sat ominously on the drive, gasps as a stretcher is at last exposed. Long red tendrils frame a ghostly white face, usually flushed with the fervor of youth. Bloody bandages around her wrists, mother sobbing into father's chest. Her attempt to end suffering inside only leads the road to suburban legend, the girl who tried to cut and escape. If you're looking for a community that offers tools, support, and advice to start your own adventures in writing, then prepare to have the cauldron of your imagination stirred. I started the Eat Sleep Right podcast so more people could understand what it's like to be a writer. My goal is to help writers, poets, and authors achieve the success they so richly deserve. I salute their success in writing.
Thank you for listening to another edition of the Eat Sleep Right podcast, located at eatsleepright.net. Please send any questions, comments, or suggestions to comments@eatsleepright.net. Please consider a donation to support the Eat Sleep Right podcast. Donations can be sent to our PayPal address at donations@eatsleepright.net. Once in a lifetime, the theme music for the Eat Sleep Right podcast, courtesy of Stephen Paul, all rights reserved, used by permission. Please join us again for the next edition of the Eat Sleep Right podcast.